To expedite removal of the Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Can you imagine? Those were the old days when they had tough politicians. I have to go back that long. Think of that, 1798. Oh, it's a powerful act. You couldn't pass something like that today. Today we're politically correct. Today people kill and they end up getting out on bail in 2 minutes. No, this is a little different act. The Aliens Enemy Act, 1798, to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. 100%. And in honor of the great people of Aurora, Colorado, we will call this Operation Aurora, because they were the first to suffer with this group of thugs. And if they come back into our country after removal, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. No possibility. Not that we...
The fact that people are still calling Project 2025 fear-mongering when Trump literally said that he would invoke the Alien Sedition Act of 1798, you might want to be concerned, because if you have anybody that you love that isn't as pink and pale as I am, they're at risk. Do you not remember the Japanese American internment camps of World War II? Japanese Americans who were born in the United States of America were forced against their will to spend their time in concentration camps around the United States of America, hundreds and sometimes thousands of miles away from their home. Have you ever visited one of those sites? I have myself. I have been to Manzanar myself in California on several occasions, and I took my children so that they could see what history is, so that history will not repeat itself. I have a family friend whose family is Japanese American and spent their time in one of those concentration camps. So to all of the white people who are saying that Project 2025 is just fear-mongering, do better. It's fucking real. We literally have history to show it.
Far more sinister is what's buried deep within Project 2025, which any person who sends their child to public school should care about. They want to mandate that all students in schools receiving federal funding must complete the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. In plain English, that's a military entrance exam. If you flip to page 134 of the 900-page Project 2025 manifesto, you'll read this proposal, and I quote, "To improve military recruiters' access to secondary schools and require the completion of the Armed Services and Vocational Aptitude Battery, the military entrance examination, by all students in schools that receive federal funding." And guess who would be exempt from that requirement, since they don't get federal funds? Private school kids. You feel me now?
Trump's Project 2025 would change the 40-hour work week to a 160-hour work month. So your boss could make you work extra hours with no overtime pay by cutting your hours later in the month. See page 592.
Number 8, we will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens, never happens. Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system. Approximately half of new illegal immigrants immigrants came on temporary visas and then never, ever left. Why should they? Nobody's telling them to leave. Stay as long as you want. We'll take care of you. Beyond violating our laws, visa overstays pose, and they really are a big problem, pose a substantial threat to national security. The 9/11 Commission said that this tracking system should be a high priority and would have assisted law enforcement and intelligence officials in August and September 2001 in conducting a search for two of the 9/11 hijackers that were in the United States on expired visas. And you know what that would have meant. What that could have meant. Wouldn't that have been wonderful, right? What that could have meant. Last year alone, nearly 500,000 individuals overstayed their temporary visas. Removing visa overstays will be a top priority of my administration. If people around the world believe they can just come on a temporary visa and never, ever leave, the Obama-Clinton policy, that's what it is, then we have a completely open border and we no longer have a country.
Discussed a whole lot, so we're going to get into something called Project 2025. A leading conservative think tank is weighing in on what a second Trump presidency might look like. Project 2025 includes a massive overhaul to the federal government as we know it. And this is not just rumor. This is all based on actual stated goals that Donald Trump has said over and over again for the past 3.5 years.
Trump promises an unabashedly imperial presidency, one that would turn the Justice Department against critics, deport millions of people in the U.S. illegally, slap 10% tariffs on thousands of products, fire perhaps tens of thousands of government staff deemed insufficiently loyal.
Now,
illegally slap 10% tariffs on thousands of products, fire perhaps tens of thousands of government staff deemed insufficiently loyal.
Shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakadash, Yahweh being true name for the Father, Yahweh Shai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, that taught us truth and will well, and citations to Jehovah Lake Person's truth, and all honesty and sincerity. This is Brother Yahweh because listen to the spirit power of Yahweh Shai, another update in times and events. You've seen the few clips that I played to the start of this lesson, showing you the agenda of what they want to do under the quote-unquote Trump administration. Now, if either person gets into office, whether it be Kamala or Trump, the agenda of the elites will be accomplished. But you need to understand one key thing. This man isn't really in charge of anything. He's under the order and control of those that put that small hat on his head. And he is following orders and doing exactly what they tell him to do. He's in no opposition to them. Okay? They are running the shots. And this another one of the things that he did state that he's going to do is come against anybody that speaks against the small hat people. The quote-unquote JEWS's people. Okay? You speak out against them and you're going to be considered an enemy of the state. And you're going to be labeled with the T word. You know, terror. You finish the rest of it. And, you know, they're going to have zero tolerance. All right. So, one of the things that stands out in some of the videos that I shared, let me grab that real quick. All right. From this brother's channel, GMS Inspiration for Almighty, shared this clip. Okay. He intends to invoke the Aliens Enemies Act of 1798 to remove criminal illegals. Now, that was an extremely draconian law that was executed that literally jailed and put people that were considered Americans, but they were of quote unquote Japanese ethnicity, even though they were born here, into concentration camps. And he plans to invoke this. And who is he going to invoke this on? You think it's about to be just Middle Eastern people or Iranian people? Hell no. It's interesting how he did this rally at Aurora, Colorado, right? And in Aurora, Colorado, the reason why he chose that, because they had a big uproar going on. We had quote unquote Venezuelan illegal migrants that took over apartment complexes with zero opposition from the military or the police force, and just straight up held people at gunpoint and took them out of their homes, you know, with zero consequence or opposition from the government. And they didn't walk here by foot and cross the border of Mexico. They got flown in on planes and dropped the fuck off. By who? Who paid for that, man? Who paid for that? And that's why we tell y'all people this stuff be psyops and stuff that they do on the news. How are these people able to do all of that with zero type of military interference or police opposition, and they take over apartment complexes and take people out of their homes? And all of a sudden, coincidentally, there's a big rally in Aurora, Colorado, the same area where people are already brainwashed and, you know, conditionally programmed. They need a savior from these migrants. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself who paid for these migrants to have the money to come over here by plane and gave them weapons to come in entire multiple complexes and take over? Where did they get the income to do these things? And who allowed them to do it? It's Esau Edom, man. This government that these people trust in. And all of a sudden, when it comes time for election purposes, guess who's having a damn rally? You know, guess who's having a rally in the same little city that got taken over by paid migrants? And he's conditioning the people to mentally accept that this act must be enacted during his administration, which is literally going to be giving him the authority to enact concentration camps. Have we not been telling y'all that concentration camps is coming for you wicked ass people out here, man? Didn't we tell you that America is coming to a time of war? And we told you martial law is coming. FEMA camps, concentration camps are coming. And this is exactly what this man just told you that he's going to do in his administration. And what was the other thing that he said he was going to do during his administration? Listen up.
Biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately.
What the fuck do you think that's talking about? What the fuck do you think that is talking about? What is another thing we've been warning you people that is coming? Huh? Something look familiar? Something sound familiar? Okay, this is a video that was done 6 months ago. This is just my channel. Like, you got hundreds of brothers literally doing lessons on these things. This is what you call a biometric entry-exit visa tracking system that is about to be placed inside this man's hand, and we're going to be watching it live right here. Do you see the device here? Okay, that's what we call a charagma, the bite of a snake. Okay, did you see that needle looks like a snake's tooth? But she's just injecting out of that needle. It's called an RFID microchip implant that's about to be placed into this Momo, this undesirable man's hand. Okay, so this is the guy to get it cracking, to get it popping, man. So if the elite's agenda is to make this push forward now, this is the man to be put in office to make it happen, Captain. And it looks like he probably will be because he's the one that is being pictured with them small hats, which you just seen, man. That's the head tribe of Esau, Amalek. All right, and he's working hand in hand with them. He's not against them. So there's all types of things coming out right now with this tech. They're really starting to advertise it. Okay, Elon Musk is advertising the one that goes into the head. Revelation 13 and 16, the mark of the beast, man. He's advertising the one that goes into the head, and he's saying right now, hey, then they're going to begin trials on mind-to-mind telepathic communication. They've already perfected the shit that, making payments and the digital stuff, waving your hand over stuff and getting it connected to things. The one in the head is what they really are harping on and getting ready to advertise the capabilities to do. We in the time of the end, man. This guy has been one of the human test subjects to do it, and he's controlling the whole computer with his thoughts. So we got concentration camps. We basically got him coming up with laws, as we said, with what they're going to do with this 2025 Act. Any type of political figures that come against what he's talking about, they out of office. They out of there. He's going to be firing them. This guy is going to turn himself into a harsh, strict dictator. Is what he's setting himself up to be. All right? And they got all sorts of things happening right now. There's just been a quote-unquote third potential attempt on him. A third attempt. Hold on. Let's just bring that out too, man.
I'm Andy Mack. Thank you so much for joining us. We're following some breaking news right here on Live Now from Fox, as a California sheriff is saying that a third assassination attempt against the former president was thwarted in California just this week. And I do want to put up just this post here on Live Now from Fox in the New York.
All right, so you heard it, man. A third attempt has taken place. So what this does is gives justification for these people in control to execute orders such as martial law and more draconian laws, to give him the authority to make more rules and regulation for under the mask of emergency life-threatening situations. Okay? So he can make security way more strict and tell y'all what to do and have different troops in your streets a lot easier when this shit like this is going on. And to include confiscating some of y'all's weapons and things like that, man. And this is the perfect storm for all these things to take place, because this whole election shit is stirring up a big race war and riot. Okay? That act that he's talking about invoking, that's going to be against you so-called blacks, you so-called Latinos, and you so-called Native Americans, man. You are going to be considered enemies of the state. Point blank, period. And he's coming for those of you that associate yourselves with Hebrew Israelites in this truth first. You're target number one. Then it's going to trickle down to all Israelites, whether you're in the truth or not. You also are targets as well. Okay? This is why this guy has been pictured with in small hats. They're letting you know right in your face who he's operating under, who he's in league with. What the fuck business has he got coming to this shit over there? He's not even quote unquote you-ish. Not involved with that religion whatsoever. But he's actively spoke that he has their back. And he's always seen with that blood red tie, man. The trademark of Esau. His blood showeth forth through his skin. Red all over, like an hairy garment. red. This man lives and dies by the sword, man. And he's coming for us, Hebrew Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All this shit that they're setting up is perfect, man. But this is really what they're trying to do is make their moves to take us out. But ultimately, what they're going to start ushering in forward is prophecy. Two shall become one stick. Okay? Judah and Israel shall become one stick, meaning the northern kingdom and southern kingdom are going to unite. They're going to begin to see that who their enemy is and who is getting attacked. Judah's going to get roused up, man. These niggas going to get roused up. Shit's going to happen to where y'all don't hate this devil enough, man. Y'all sitting back just letting this motherfucker get away with a lot of shit. But things are going to begin to happen. More police brutality, way worse than that, is going to begin to happen to where y'all ain't going to be just grabbing no folding chairs no more. Judah's going to get roused up, man. This devil's going to make his move in such a bold, insulting way to where niggas are going to fight back, man, and not going to stand for the shit that he's coming out and saying doing. And who's also on the target right now? It's black and it's quote unquote black and brown. He's coming against you so-called Latinos and Native Americans too with this act. So you're going to have two ethnic groups fighting for their lives. What do you think them two groups going to do together? They're going to have to join hand in hand and band up against this damn devil. So he's ushering in that prophecy is what he's really doing, man. Is what these devils are doing. It's really uniting the nation of Israel. And hey, the prophets told you first, man. We told y'all that this shit was coming down the pipeline. The lives as you know it is about to change. And he's talking about Project 2025. So this coming next year, this might be it. This very well is probably the last election, man. Shit is about to go down. Okay? You got civil war coming up. We're already waiting to see what the country of Israel does to the country of Iran. Iran made their move. And there's talks that Iran's about to make another move before Israel even strikes. So we're on the brink of World War III. Martial law is on the way. This is the man that says that he will implement during his administration. Is an administration coming back up in office again? It was looking like it. They're going to implement that biometric entry as a visa tracking system. But there's only a few prophecies we're waiting to see. And that's all out war of the peak of Jacob's trouble and the MOTB, the mark of the beast, made mandatory to get. Mandatory as in life or death choice, and millions of people being forced to take the shit. Everything else, prophecies and scriptures have taken place. It's come to pass. So this is it, man. We at the end. Yahweh Shai about to be back any moment. But before all World War III really breaks loose to the point to where you got bombs going off in your neighborhood streets, and you're hearing, sirens and all types of shit going on, you're going to have that MOTB being pushed out. That's coming real soon, man. So we can see, the chaos that's going to be, orchestrated to implement that thing via this civil war that they're trying to cook up, and this economic downfall they're also trying to cook up, and this quote-unquote migrant issue. I'll grab a couple precepts, man. This is 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." Perilous. Definition: full of danger or risk, exposed to imminent risk or danger or ruin. So we're in a times where imminent danger or risk or ruin is going to come to you. You will experience this. All right? Your Americans are not used to this shit. War has not been on U.S. soil in hundreds of years. The last time was Civil War. But we have, not only do we have another Civil War coming, but you have an actual world war that is brewing, which you will have enemy soldiers, boots on the ground here on U.S. soil. They're actually already here. They're already here. And they were let in on purpose because the elites want this place to fall. This is not about to be the superpower of the one world government that they're establishing. No. They don't need America for that shit. America has just been the gun to take over other countries. That's all its purpose is. It's a machine of slavery to pump out a ton of money for the Rothschilds and the elites, and a gun that they can point at any nation that comes in opposition against the elites to shoot at. That's what this place means, man. It's just a corporation, a giant mercenary position. That's all, man. And this place is indebted too much money that has not came out to pay these elites. We got over trillions of dollars in debt. So in order to pay some of that tab, the gun will be pointed and shot. This place will be used for certain agendas in other countries on this planet. So what does that mean for you? Dangerous times are ahead for you people. And you seen a man that they want to put in position to make it happen. You know? And if he don't make it, and he get taken out by a quote-unquote assassination, the she-devil that they put in office is another beast that I didn't even speak on in detail yet. It's going to be immediate death and killing and shit. So it's going to start going on. Civil war will kick off in a very violent way if that motherfucker get in office. If she don't and the other guy gets in, well, you see what this lesson is speaking on. Draconian laws, man. Nero, he's the reincarnation of Nero. Look up Nero in the Roman governments, man. He's that reincarnation of that guy, and he came up with a lot of draconian. Draconian means extremely harsh, cruel laws. He executed a lot of that. He was very controversial in getting into office during the time of Roman Empire. And he was the guy that was in charge when all that shit fell. And isn't this place not falling? So everything is just happening beautifully and perfectly through the spirit. I believe that's the guy that's going to get in, you know, regardless of what happened. She may win by votes X, Y, and Z. Civil war kickoff, might be another assassination tip, whatever, somehow, some way. This guy will be in office, even if it's for a short time and he gets killed. Because Nero died too, man. He died actually by suicide. But he died a very violent way getting out of office. And the Roman government empire fell along with him. You know? So this time around, something could happen to him. Someone could take him out. And this shit start crumbling. Everything's finished, man. This is it. You can expect perilous times to come. Concentration camps, man. Concentration camps, they straight up telling you they about to be rounding people up and throwing them in there. And it ain't about to just be no Venezuelans up in that shit, man. He coming for all quote-unquote black and brown people and putting their asses up in there. Because what's going to happen is if he gets voted in, you're going to have a lot of black and brown people that have been brainwashed to think that Kamala's for them, and they're going to be protesting and cutting up. You're going to have agent provocateurs and these rallies of quote-unquote black and brown people that's going to turn some of them protests violent, and they ain't going to be black and brown people really doing the shit. They're going to be people set up and paid for to turn the shit violent. Just like how they always be setting up piles of bricks for these protests. All of a sudden, wood pallets magically appear and set up perfectly, an unlimited amount of bricks for people to throw on pallets. Show up. Okay? It's going to be guns going to be placed out there. All types of things. And that's going to give him justification and say, oh, I told you I got to invoke this act, right? Who else do we need to put on this list? You see? It's these black people. It's these... Hey, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. The prophets are warning y'all how the shit gonna go. Okay? Jacob's trouble is nigh at hand. North Carolina is going through all sorts of hell, man. 2nd Esdras 15 and 16 is happening right now in North Carolina. Let's grab that precept. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So that whole flash flood that hit North Carolina based off the Hurricane Helene, there's enough evidence coming out. There has been a geostorm weapon that was used because those people refused to sell their land to the government for the lithium deposits on their land. Okay, so you got certain militias being gathered up to literally fight against FEMA, because FEMA and then the government's coming in to sell the land off now to the people that have already gave offers to buy their shit before the storm hit. So they're getting ready to fight, man. And the devastation is not being shown at all. It's terrible, the amount of devastation happened to them people. Hey, Apostle Dahar declared this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And this year, Jacob's trouble, certainly, when you add up collectively everything that has taken place with these hurricanes, the Civil War election that's coming up, what's going on with the shutdowns and the strikes that have been happening, Jacob's trouble has already begun. We are in the very first kickoff of Jacob's trouble. And so the things they talking about doing to people in Project 2025 is just horrific. You guys seen the opening videos that I shared. I hope y'all were paying attention to it, man. Jacob's trouble is at hand. This is Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So none has been like the times that we're about to go through. Of all the history of death and war and violence you can read about within scriptures, the times we're about to see and experience are worse than all of those put together. Okay, but he shall be saved out of it. Who is he? The hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, shall be saved out of it. This is for the wicked to suffer from. So you better repent to be under good grace of Yahweh Yahushai, man. To get protection for the times to come, man. Concentration camps, force, punctures in the people's hands and heads with electronic device. Okay. More draconian laws and measures, starvations. All these things are on the horizon, man. So if you're not right in the eyes of Yahweh Yahushai, you will not have the divine intervention which will be needed to survive and live. And you want that protection over your immediate loved ones, your family, your household as well. So your only chance of getting that is serving Yahweh Yahushua the right way, man. That means for men, you need to do this work and labor, man. Support the ministry. If you're not a prophet or teacher, cool. Spread the word. Help this stuff spread like wildfire. Support the ministry in every way you can, possibly. Study to show thyself approved. Okay? Do this work. Women, be obedient and serve your husbands. Find a man that's teaching this truth, this word, and serve and be submissive to him so he can be on fire more for this without the stressors of everything you already got to deal with to serve this truth in a more efficient way. Okay? Being obedient, submissive to your husbands is how you get delivered, man. It says, Scripture says she shall be saved in what? Childbearing. And the process of childbearing goes into your due roles of being a wife. Submissive, submit, serve, be in order. Men, gird your loins up like a man. Serve this truth, man. No man taking his hand off the plow and looking back. It's fit for the king of Yahweh Bashem El Shaddai, the scriptures say. So if you want that seal of protection, men and women, you've been warned, told exactly what you got to do, man. Call upon that name, Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Keep the commandments to the best of your ability. Men, gird your loins up like a man, and women, serve your husbands. That's it. It's very simple, man. And if you're an aged woman, teach the young woman how to do those for their husbands. Teach them. Okay? And any younger men, younger women listening in, young men, young women, learn. Learn. Soak this knowledge up, man. Study. Take notes. Build yourself up. Listen to your parents that are in this truth, molding you to who you need to be. That's all we got, man. That's all we can do until the end. Have faith. Have extreme amount of faith in this. This is real, man. The things that we've been preaching is real. And y'all people are starting to see it. If you don't see it now, you got no chance. So with that, I'm going to close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash, double honor to our apostles and elders, great millstone, Tasha's truth and will well, and Sartis, you hopefully person's truth and all sincerity. Shalom.